Well, I am Ninja, he's Ninja, she is Ninja too. I am Ninja, we are Ninja, but I believe that you are Ninja too.
Bobby from Mesa, Arizona asks a ninja, are there Mormon ninjas? Yes, there are Ninjormons. They used to actually be called Mormonjas, but they stopped calling them that because people got confused with minjas, which are actually midget ninjas. It'd be like, hey, there's a ninja, and there's some other ninjas, and there's some more ninjas. And it just got really confusing, so they changed the name entirely. Ninjormons are some of the most powerful ninjas of all time. It all started when a couple of Mormon missionaries tracked it into a ninja master named Jim. Jim was actually just his middle name. He didn't go by his first name because it was Walker, and that name is pretty much just synonymous with Chuck Norris now. Chuck Norris is not a ninja. Not a lot of people realize that, but he was actually raised by ninjas. Never became one for some reason, don't know why. Anyway, these two Mormon missionaries, they opened his mind to the solemnities of eternity. And it came to pass. Jim became the very first Ninjormon. After that, Jim started a tight band of Ninjormons known as LDN, which stands for Latter-day Ninjas. LDN became quickly specialized in banishing demons back to the fiery pits of Hades. I think it's because they found out all they had to do was just bear the testimony, and they would just burst into flames and disappear forever. Powerful weapon, testimony. Not a lot of people know that. Ninjormons are the only ninjas that have sworn an oath to not kill anybody, which has gotta be really hard, because let me tell you, you do a lot of killing as a ninja. A lot of killing. It's really hard to go through a whole day without killing at least 500 some odd people. Like, for example, like maybe I'll be up in a tree, I'll be like hanging above someone, and I'll be like, ah yeah, and come down, and you'll split into like two perfectly symmetrical pieces. Two symmetrical pieces! That's a perfect line. Right down the middle. And in Ninjormon, he's gonna be like hanging up in a tree, and he's gonna be like, oh yeah, and come down, he's gonna put a Book of Mormon in your hands. And it's really funny to watch, because at first, like, they're all scared, like they're gonna die, and then like, they're like, what's this? And they start looking through it. And then the Ninjormon always has to say like some really deep analyze your life statement, like, I could have killed you right now. Do you know where you're going after you die? And then they just disappear into the trees again. Everything a regular ninja carries, a Ninjormon also carries, but in a much less deadly, yet equally effective form. Like, instead of throwing shurikens, they're gonna throw like pass-along cards. Instead of having nunchucks, they'll have like the stick of Judah and the stick of Joseph in their hands. Instead of like a bow staff, they'll have like the iron rod. I guess all those things can be pretty deadly, come to think of it. A couple of pass-along cards, just ah-ya! And then just take your arms right off. That's not good, having no arms. The point is, Ninjormons don't need to be deadly. All they have to do is just look at you, and your mind is filled with questions about the purpose of life. At that point, I don't care what you are. You could be a zombie lizard man, and you're just gonna be stuck in your tracks for a minute. You're just gonna be thinking about it like. Every Sunday, Ninjormons get together for a giant Ninjormon sacrament meeting, which is not like giant Ninjormons come together, it's like a really large group of Ninjormons. Thing is, it's not an actual physical gathering, it's more of like a mental gathering through meditation. That's the best way I can put it for you. Like, everybody's friends will be there, and it'll be like, Dave is there, and you'll see Jake and be like, hey Jake, I didn't see you last week, and he'll be like, yeah, I went to that singles ward. I mean, it was pretty cool, I guess, but I gotta tell you, complete, total meat market. There's also Ninjormon firesides. The only difference between a regular fireside and a Ninjormon fireside is that the Ninjormon fireside, there's an actual fire. I think they do it to try to keep people awake because the entire meeting is done inside of the fire, in the fire, like the speaker's in the fire and you're in the fire and just dozing off. Just doesn't work because it's kind of hard to fall asleep when you're completely engulfed in flames all the time. Thanks for the question, Bobby. An Ninjormon looks forward to converting you soon. Hi-ya! They also sometimes have activities afterwards, but it's really hard to get anybody to show up because they all know there's not going to be any refreshments afterwards. I mean, think about it for a second. I mean, can somebody just meditate me up some cookies and milk or maybe an ice cream sandwich? I could go for one of those.